everyone! So, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Cheryl, and today we are going to be making homemade hummus. Yummy! So, today we're going to be using chickpeas, lemon, garlic, salt, and olive oil for our recipe. This is a very, very simple recipe with only 5 ingredients. And it is a cheap recipe. I paid about 97 cents a can for each of these Goya chickpeas, and lemons were 3 for $1. Garlic was pretty cheap. Had salt and olive oil already on hand. So parents, this is a really great recipe to just whip up, keep the cans on hand, and you can make it anytime you'd like. So our chickpeas we're going to be using, they're called garbanzo beans, and they are a wonderful, wonderful thing. They are a great source of protein. They are high in fiber and low in cholesterol. So all around, chickpeas are a wonderful bean, as you see the package here. Pretty cheap by the can, and if you want to even go a little bit cheaper, you can buy a bag of chickpeas and boil them yourself. But yeah, so today we're going to be doing chickpeas, and this recipe is thousands and thousands of years old. It actually comes from the Middle East, and this recipe has been done so many times that no one actually knows where it originated from. So somewhere in the Middle East. So it's lots of flavors, it's very robust. One thing I'm going to say today is we're going to be using garlic, and garlic can be really, really strong, so we're going to start with 1 clove, even though this recipe asks for 2 cloves, and then we're going to add a little bit more and see if we want it. So we can always add stuff at the end, and then such as salt and olive oil, foods that may not be as great for us. So we'll add a little bit more of those at the end if we need it. I really like my hummus chunky and just raw, and some people really like it smooth. So today I'm going to make mine a little bit chunkier, and if you like yours smoother, then you can add a little bit more olive oil or lemon juice or even water. You could water it down a little bit. So remember, when you add olive oil to a recipe, it's going to boost up your calories because it's higher in fat. So just a tip. So we'll start with a little bit of olive oil today. Our recipe calls for about a 1/3 cup, and we'll play with it. We got a little food processor right here we're going to use today. You can use a blender for this recipe. You could use a larger food processor. You could even mash this with your hand and fork, the chickpeas. The only thing that needs to be blended is just the garlic needs to be minced if you do it by hand. Alright, you ready to get started? Let's do this. So the first thing we're going to do is, I already drained my chickpeas, but we're going to take 2 cans, 15 ounces each, and we're going to dump them straight into our food processor right here. So take off your lid. We're just going to pop that on the side. And I already pre-drained these, so you can do it over your kitchen sink with a strainer. We're not going to use the water today. If you like chickpea water, you're more than welcome to save it and use it for something else. But today I drained mine off in the sink, and that was an easy way of doing it. So you can pour it straight into your food processor. We're just going to pour the rest of those beans in. Take some out right now because my food processor is a little bit smaller. We'll add them back in once it lowers down in size, because we want to leave some room for our lemon and garlic. So 2 cans of 15 ounce cans. Next, we're going to use 1 lemon. We're just going to slice it in half. Take a knife. Let's take that sticker off. We're just going to slice it right down the middle. And you can take a little bowl with a strainer. Got right here, so I have a little strainer. And I'm just going to squeeze it right over the strainer. Get those seeds out. Get all that yummy juice out. We're going to use the whole lemon for the lemon juice. So squeeze as much as you can. And if you have a lemon squeezer, more than welcome to use it. I don't. I love squeezing lemons by hand. So fresh and makes your hands smell so good. Alright, so we're going to take our other half. We're just going to squeeze it in. Right in there. Get everything out. It smells so good. We're just going to squeeze. Keep on squeezing. Alright. Now if we need more lemon juice later on, we can always bust open another one and pour it in. So we have our lemon juice. Just dab that off, set it aside. And we're just going to take our juice and we're just going to pour it right in. Okay. Next up, we're going to do our 2 cloves of garlic. Now I have this fancy schmancy little silicone doodad, and what you do, bought it at the store for a couple dollars. It was pretty cheap and I love it. You stick your garlic clove inside of it and you actually just roll it around with your hand, like so. And when you do that, your skin stays inside and your garlic clove comes out peeled. So we're going to do that again with the next one. You can always peel it yourself, and I just like this little silicone piece because I don't have to touch it as much and get garlic all over my hands. So take that out, and we're really not going to mince it today. We're just going to give it a few chops, just some chunks. So about this size, just some little chunks of garlic. So we have that, we're going to put it right on there. Right? Now we have our olive oil. Now this recipe calls for 1/3 cup, about 1/3 cup. And I'm just going to start with about half of this because this is a lot of olive oil. And we'll see how the consistency, we'll see what the consistency comes out to. And if it comes out awesome, then we'll leave it as is. And if we need to add more, we will add some more. Okay? So always remember, you can always add more. Okay? Alright. Same with our salt. I'm just going to add a teensy bit. This recipe calls for 1 teaspoon. And I'm just going to sprinkle a tiny little bit of it because I don't want all this salt in my recipe, but you are more than welcome to do it. I like low sodium. So sprinkle a little on top, and then at the end, if you think your hummus recipe needs some more salt, you can always add it at the end. There's so much flavor in this recipe already that you may not even need the salt. Okay, so we're going to take our top for our little blender, little food processor. We're just going to pop it on top until you hear the click. And then we're going to do a couple blends in here. I don't want you to have to listen to a blender all day. So we're just going to chop it a few times. And then what I want you to do is you're going to open it back up. And I want you to take a spatula. And you're just going to take the sides of your food processor and you're just going to kind of blend it down. Push everything down. So push those chickpeas. Because sometimes with these smaller ones, it's really hard for it to blend everything, get it all to come down, unless you just sit there for a while. So for video purposes, I'm just going to push it down. Push that garlic down, get it all nice and in there, packed. Okay, now we're just going to put our little top back on, and we're going to chop it some more. Okay, and you can go back in and really smooth that out, and you can kind of break it up with your spatula too, and just kind of push those sides in, and you can really mash it in. And let's take a little taste of our hummus. So let me take some out. It's always good to taste your food as you're cooking, so you know what's going on, and if you need to add more of oil, or if you need to add more salt or anything. So it's starting to taste really good. I can taste the lemon, I can taste the garlic, so we definitely don't need any more lemon juice or garlic. But remember, this is all subjective, so if you like garlic, throw another clove in there. Okay? So we're just going to do one last blend, and that's it for the day. Okay? Now we're going to take our food processor out, just like so. We're going to place it down. And just take off your top, and there you go. You have homemade hummus. So all you do is just take out your little bladey doodad, take it off. And you're going to scoop it out. You can scoop it right into a bowl, just like that. Now, you can put it right into a Tupperware container, and it can last in your fridge for about a week. It'll stay fresh if you keep it closed, and you can sprinkle some paprika on top. You can even dice some more garlic up and sprinkle that on top. Hummus can come in all sorts of flavors. You could do red bell pepper hummus, you could do black olive hummus, all sorts of things. Get creative, be fun. If you see something in your kitchen that might look good in this recipe, throw it in, test it out. This is all about being creative and enjoying food. Delicious, healthy food. So remember, this is high in fiber, this is low in sodium. I didn't put too much sodium. It's a great substitute for spreads such as mayo or any other condiments. You can put it on sandwiches. If your kids for school, you can put it on their sandwiches. You could use it as a dip or for vegetables or pita chips, anything. And let's see, let's put some in our bowl and test it out. I like it chunky, so this came out very chunky, but the more you blend it up, the more it's going to come out smooth and smooth. Now this little box or container of hummus I got at the store was maybe about $4, and this recipe that I made homemade cost me definitely less than $4. These were 97 cents each, so this is cheap. It's gonna last you a long time. It's so much more delicious than buying store-bought hummus. It's a great source of so many different nutrients, and kids love it, adults love it, everyone loves it. I don't know anyone who doesn't love it. So make a huge batch, share it with your friends and family, and enjoy. And I hope you come back next time to hear another recipe from Cheryl's Kitchen.